Hello everyone, welcome back to Tim2716. My name is Tim, and today we're going to be building a car. Not just any car, we're going to be building a car for people who were born back in the early 1900s, specifically around the 30s, 20s. We're building a car for them. A car that would be released in 1945. Let's start. So right here we have our body right here. It's pretty cool if I say so myself. It's nice and streamlined looking. We're going to make the panels aluminum. Probably going to choose some form of a chassis. Just thinking about it, I think a ladder chassis would be good. You know why? I want this thing to be strong. Galvanized steel, front longitudinal. I didn't know double wishbone was an option. That's actually pretty cool now that I think about it. Of course, it's 15 quality. So I went a bit forward and, yeah. This is that 7,000 horsepower engine I made. It actually fits in this thing for some reason. It's funny, but I don't want this thing in the air. No, absolutely not. I want this thing to have an engine made with 1946 technology. Earliest technology in the game. I want it made with the same technology. So, yeah, now that I think about it, I'm going to switch the body to coupe because I don't like the fastback that much. I already have a car that's a fastback, and I'd rather have the coupe. It kind of reminds me of the 300 SLR Uhlenhaut coupe. Now, we're going to make an engine family. I'm wondering what to call it. Civil War engines. That's what I think we should call it. And this next one... Okay, now we have this right here. Of course, it's going to be a V8, 90 degrees. We're going to make it about a 4-liter, because why not? And I think it's pretty cool so far. Hopefully, yeah, we're going to make it 100 millimeters a stroke. Actually, now that I think about it, it should be slightly larger than 4 liters. I'm thinking close to 4.3. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Actually, no, now that I think about it, it should be a 4.0 liter engine. And you know what? Overhead cam, too modern. Push rod. This is going to be a push rod engine, and I don't care. I think it's wonderful. An aluminum head material, because why not? Actually, no, cast iron. Now we're going to make it 15 quality. We have 2 crank materials. Iron heavy and cast iron. Heavy iron is probably better for torque and stuff like that, so you know what? Heavy iron. Now we have cast light and a few other materials. I wonder which one I'm going to get. You know what? Let's modify the tune damper and stuff like that real quick. Yeah, cast heavy, harmonic damper. We're going to make that pretty heavy. Now for this, okay, I'm going to put it up to a little more of the sports settings for that. Now, 12,000 RPM just to see how it will function, if it even will. 2-barrel, triple carburetor, race. Ooh, that's pretty nice looking, but nah, I like that one a lot more. Okay, no, those look cheap. Really, really cheap. They look like they're made of plastic, so no. Manifold side, maximum, of course it's going to be. You know what? To make this more fair, leaded. We're going to use leaded gasoline for this. You know why? Because I want to make this as realistic as possible. Okay, we're going to make the fuel map a little bit more to our liking, so it gets a decent amount of power and some more reliability. Larger carburetor size. Actually, no, smaller now that I think about it, because I want to see, will it actually change the physical size of it? Nah, not really. I think a single carburetor actually looks kind of cool, now that I think about it. Race kind of looks embarrassing. It's just one little scoop. That's kind of sad. So, you know what? I think that we should at least try to get one of these performance ones. Maybe double carburetor, maybe single, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, now we're on to the exhaust pipe system. Made the headers as big as possible with tubular race, because those are my favorite. As loud as possible. And oh yeah, 12,000 RPM. That is an absolute disaster. You know what, let's make it sporter by lowering compression and cam profile. By making it more reliable technically. Lowering RPM by a lot. I think it could probably go up a little bit, but let's deal with that later. Cast. Yeah, I don't think cast heavy is good. We need some lighter stuff. Nah, cast iron. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm just going to do cast iron. Make that slightly lighter. And this is because we're making this engine from scratch, and I've never made an engine this old using this technology. So yeah, let's just bring it up to 5,000 RPM. I think that's nice for a car of this era. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that slow either. So yeah, let's do some light modifications still in order to make sure this engine gets somewhat good fuel economy. Increase the compression ratio now. I'm getting a little tired of narrating what's going on, so I'm going to speed this up a lot. Yeah, this whole segment right here is about 2.5 minutes of just me modifying the engine and stuff like that. But I've shortened it down to make it better for me and for you guys. Yeah, so far the engine's looking old and it's actually looking kind of nice. Okay, it has a lot of torque, but not too much power. About 101 horsepower, 103 or so. Yeah, I think that's pretty good for an engine of this era. Now, this right here, this is the car we're using. Yeah, I didn't change it to the coupe yet, but I was planning on it. So now, we're going to do that. Okay, I don't want it to be a flat back glass window. I want it to be so that it's angled, but not too angled. Right here, we're going to do some color modifications. I was actually originally thinking about painting this thing black like a hearse, but then I kind of changed my mind because this is going to be a family car, and you know what? Cars back in the day, they were starting to get more unique colors. They weren't like the Model T, which only came in black. No, this thing, I want to make it orange, similar to my Turbine Thrasher. Tried copper orange, didn't look that good in my opinion. Black chrome. Black chrome is what the roof is going to be made of. And now for the wheels, I think that the wheels should be sturgeon, because sturgeon is like black steel. It looks nice and it isn't too, you know what, black chrome. Now think about it, black chrome is what this thing needs. It's an era-based piece. Now I'm going to look for a type of wheel. I was kind of thinking of something with 6 lug nuts. Nah, I don't really like it that much. Those are more for like heavy duty trucks. This thing doesn't even make 200 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, one of these wheels. Specifically, yeah, one of these. Similar to the one I have on my Torque Master, but the one of 4 lug nuts. Now let's work on the transmission. We're going to make it rear wheel drive because why not? Okay, top gearing. We're going to give everything a little bit of adjustment right here. This is in order to make sure it goes fast and stuff like that. And now the tires are a whole mess that I'm just going to kind of skip over some, because I spent like genuinely like 20 minutes figuring out the best tire size and stuff like that. Now let's work on some aerodynamics right here. This is a car from 1946, so it's not going to have the best aero. Yeah, it's pretty nearly 1 at 0.78. That's a lot of drag that this thing is making. Hopefully we can decrease it. You know what? Now that I think about it, I have the quality all the way down. That's not good. You know what? 0.3, not bad. Okay, I was planning on investing something in there. So yeah, let's just do the interior. I want this thing to be a 4-seater because I want this thing to carry me, my spouse, and 2 kids. They don't have to be my kids, they could just be random kids like their friends. Now, for safety, we have manual rack and pinion, traction aids haven't yet been invented, advanced or standard 1940 safety, because I'm not entirely sure which I'm going to pick. Let's make this thing a little heavier so it sticks to the ground better. Rear weight distribution. And now here, let's just do some brake work. Let's give it the best brakes we possibly can for, well, the time era. Unfortunately, only brake discs are here, and when we brake disc, I mean drum brakes. So yeah, basically no disc brakes. Now right here, yeah, we're just finishing up on our brake specs, and now we can look at our sales page. Almost 6,000 sold. Pretty nice. 129 top speed. For something this sold, pretty good. 0 to 60 of 7.62 seconds. Little slow. I think we can improve on that. So, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do race. Yeah, let's just get the most luxurious technology at the time. Let's adjust the transmission so it can accelerate faster and stuff like that. And specifically so this car actually has a chance when racing against the secret competitor that I have planned for this video. And spoiler alert, it is one of the only mods I've ever downloaded that is not off of BeamNG Drive itself. So yeah, let's do some small aero adjustment to get better top speed and better acceleration. And one of the last things we're going to need to modify before going to our interior-exterior time-lapse is the suspension. I want to make this thing like a sporty suspension, nice and firm, but not too firm and not too limp. Hopefully, because this thing's rear is going to be like only a few inches above the ground, it's basically going to be like dragging on the ground. That is disgusting. Let's put it as low as possible. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Super low to the ground. And other than this, the exterior, other than our modifications for like actual fixtures, that's all. And take a look at my stats if you want. I think it's pretty good. 7.2 seconds 0 to 60, pretty good for something this old. Now we're going to do the exterior mods. Of course, we need our grille. A car with a V8 needs a grille. Now we're also going to need some headlights in order to make sure this thing is street legal. I think these headlights, because they actually like stick out and they're not flush with the exterior, I think that's pretty cool. They kind of give this old-fashioned car style, and I love them. I think that we should put this shaker hood scoop right here, because I actually really like these. I think they're pretty cool and stuff like that. And you know what? Let's start off with the interior right now. We're going to give it this cloth interior bed, because leather is for the rich. This is a car that's for semi-rich people, like middle-class people. And yeah, if it's going quite fast, that's because this part right here was no joke, genuinely an hour long. But it's sped by like 50 times, and right here we're putting in some mahogany or redwood, whatever you want to call it, a dark wood in here. We're doing that in order to make this car have like a luxury feel, because wood is cheaper than leather in this economy. That's all I'm going to say. Once we get any examples of the frame covered up for the bottom half of this car, we'll basically be done, because I cannot make a ceiling liner. I could not do it to save my life. That's basically one of the things I'm saying. Now, the seats, I'm planning on painting them a different color. Specifically, like, similar color to, like, the ground. Okay, yeah, something like that. Now, we're going to put a modern speedometer in here, because this one actually changes when in BeamNG Drive. And we're obviously going to put a manual transmission. It doesn't show how many gears it has. But yeah, this part right here, I genuinely spent like at least 20 minutes trying to figure out what rear brake light to use. And, well, I finally came to a consensus with these ones. They may not be the most modern of them all, but hey, I like them. And now, these door handles, just trying to figure out which one looks best. And then there was the whole vent situation. I'm trying to figure out which vent looks best, and now I decided this one right here. This little thing looks awesome. Now, we're gonna give it a name. Yuno Muso. It's a name I just made up, and hopefully you guys like it. Now, so let's see. This car right here is obviously made by Scalavra. So, yeah, we're basically done with this thing. It's almost complete, and it's almost ready to be exported. We all have to just finish up our finishing touches, give it a logo in the front, and, well, that's kind of it. You know what, now that I think about it, what even does Yuno and Yuno Muso mean? Yeah, I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Hopefully it doesn't mean anything too crazy. Hopefully it means something, like, just simple. I wonder, like, if it's the name of anyone or something. Okay. Yuno Gurungurubu is an orphan who was left under the care of the church in Hague after the downfall of the House of Gurunberry, the former royal family of the Svade Kingdom. He wields a four-leaf clover grimoire and is a magic knight of the Clover Kingdom, Golden Dawn, and the Royal Knight Squad. Okay, what are the images like? I did not know that I named my car after an anime girl, but okay, I can't change it. I'm not changing its name just to export it again, just no. Now here we are in BeamNG Drive with our car, and it sounds pretty good if I say so myself. I like the pushrod V8 it has, but just remember, 103 horsepower. We can't expect a Dodge Hellcat here. We have to go normal speed, kind of. Imagine like a commuter car. Actually, no, this thing 0 to 60 is about the same as a commuter car, to be honest. But yeah, just listen to the engine itself. It kind of sounds magnificent, to be honest, and it's handling really, really well for something with no traction control. It doesn't even like drifting that much, but that's because I gave it the widest rear tires that I felt like giving it, because I could have made them wider, but that would have mean giving it stupidly small rear rims, and it would have looked ugly. Anyway, this thing's okay at making donuts. Not the best. For some reason, I can't make it get a burnout. I don't know why, but I've always been having trouble with burnouts recently. But yeah, accelerates relatively fast for something so underpowered. But yeah, I really like it now that it's in BeamNG Drive. Now that I actually see it in person. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Now, one thing I do want to do is, so I've been on this map before, and one of the things about it is that there is a highway on this map, but there's barriers. Turns out, you can go past those barriers by crashing your car into them really, really fast, and then just respawning it by pressing the insert key, or whatever key you have set as respawn. But yeah, I'm just drifting my car around, testing its drivability, and so far, it's doing pretty good. I love those wind turbines. That's how you can tell that this place is pretty cool. They don't use coal power plants for everything. I personally think wind turbines are really cool. Anyway, we're gonna head there now. Okay, we're here now, and this road is downhill. We're not gonna go down there. Turns out there is an invisible shelf we're gonna stop on. And it's here. Right there. This is the lowest point that our car can drive on, that our car can exist and function on, and it's a pretty cool little plane right here. And you know what? I'm just wondering how far we can go over here, because I see some mountains out here going 112, 113. Pretty good. Yeah, this car handles pretty good at those speeds too, and it's like that flying car from Harry Potter, but with a pushrod V8, so it sounds better. And it's orange, so it looks better in my opinion. Oh, the sun is bright, and you know what? We are just defying all the laws of physics here. I wish I could explore down there, but I'd probably fall through the map though. And we're about to reach the boundary of the map. The boundary of where it is actually like rendered and stuff like that, so with high definition or whatever that is. And now we're in 144p mashed potato land, or whatever you want to call it. This stuff right here is phantom ground. You cannot interact with it. I've been on those mountains, and yeah, the engine's looking pretty cool. We got that black chrome wheels. I just love this car so much. But yeah, the mountains in front of us, you can drive through them. Now on the other area that's a higher definition, those mountains that are past the highway, you can still drive up those. It's just the ones that have low resolution and low texture, you can't. Those you just pass straight through. But you want to see something cool about them? I think it's going to be pretty cool once we actually go into them. Yeah, you heard me, into them, not on them. Oh, and I see our little shadow. That's pretty cute. Are you guys ready? And boom. We just drove through a mountain in a 1946 car. And you know what? The next thing we're doing involves a mountain. That's right. The V8 is hearing again. The V8's actually idling now. But you know what? Let's take it down here, and I'm going to play some classical music to give it a sense of impending doom. Because this is the doom jump. 'Tis but a scratch. It's a scratch, that's all. Don't worry, it's not totaled. It might be dead. Let's go to the next area. Now, this isn't my other car. Well, I have another car. Actually, there's 3 cars in total. This is my Torque Master. I'm just driving it over to there because I feel too lazy to just walk around them in free walk mode. And you know what? I don't want to show you my terrible parking skills, so we just moved it up here. That car right there is actually a mod, that green one. I downloaded it off of Modland, and it was actually made by another YouTuber known as Grog TV, who makes automation content. I'd actually kindly recommend you check them out, because I think it's pretty cool. This is the interior of, well, my car. It has a nice interior and all that. The V8 sounds pretty nice on the inside and on the outside. Drifts pretty well on this flat ground, and you know what? I bet you the other car might not sound that well, but you know what? It's literally called Chappie Frog. That is what the other car's name is. This is the Yuno Muso. That's the Chappie Frog. They're about the same length, believe it or not, but this one's a lot taller, and oh boy, I forgot, this thing has side exhausts, and they are not friendly to the environment. Also, this car took like an hour for me to get working. I'm just happy to see that it drives at all. The EPA is probably having a manhunt for me because of just owning this car. And yeah, it's rear-wheel drive, powered by a V12. I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy the sound of this weird monstrosity. Love how it has like a giant modern race car wing and race car diffuser on the back, despite being from about 80 years ago. Something about this car is just awesome. It even has Mountain Dew cans in the exhaust because that's a mod you can get in automation for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. This thing, the reasons why it's called the 469 Brown, that's because it has 469 horsepower, the engine's painted brown, oh yeah, and it's a V12. Now, my car has a 4-liter pushrod V8 that's naturally aspirated because aspiration and turbos weren't invented really then. Actually, they were, but they were just not common then. They were basically single turbos. Twin turbo setups haven't really been invented. If you saw for a split second, the green car, just the plastic lawn chair and a Fisher-Price steering wheel. That's all the interior. Anyway, let's take these 2 cars to a drag race. Okay, we're at the drag strip right now. I'm currently lining up my car. They're already ready. I think they're revving their engine right now, all the way up. You know what? It won't sound as good as my car, at least. And even if I lose, I don't care. My car will still sound better. And here we go. And, okay, for a split second I thought it was faster. Nope, they are a whole lot faster. I'm going to take a guess my car's getting at like a 15, maybe 17 second quarter mile, which isn't that good, but it's better than a 30 second quarter mile or a 1 minute quarter mile. And yeah, I lost. I very, very much lost. Can't believe I lost to something called Chappie Frog. Like, do you know how silly this is? That thing has a 12 second quarter mile time. Mine is a 16-second quarter mile time. Not too bad, but not too good. I think that I should try again with something else, possibly. You know, as they say, if you can't beat them, join them. So I decided to become the Chappie Frog. And I think it's a pretty good burnout machine. It's a pretty good drift machine as well. It's nice and powerful, but it's not as good looking as my car. That's all I'm gonna say. Even if you don't like the way my car looks, I still think it looks better than whatever Chappie Frog is. Now, as you can see here, we're racing against a little tiny car. This is what I call the Scalavra B8. I actually featured it in one of my YouTube shorts, where I played the song The Bee by Amorphous in the background. And let's go. Oh my goodness. That car actually pulled a wheelie. I am genuinely impressed with that. I'm genuinely impressed. That is the first car I've ever made that has been able to pull off a wheelie. Oh, and yeah, 10-second quarter mile. I, for some reason, got almost 11 seconds flat. Actually, 11.3, but still. When you round it down, it's 11 seconds flat. But yeah, I lost. That car has 282 horsepower, by the way. And it's from a 1.8 liter V8. So yeah, kind of feel embarrassed. So you know what? I'm gonna try something else one last time.
12 seconds later.
Okay. No, not the plastic chair. Rest in peace, plastic chair. Now, why am I doing this? Why am I launching this thing into the air? Well, I'm salty because I lost. Now I'm gonna test this thing's off-road abilities, and as expected, they suck. Now here's my other car. Somehow, this thing, with less than a quarter of the power, and not as much torque, is somehow better off-roading than that car than Chappie Frog ever will be. Chappie Frog is named after a frog. Frogs are amphibians that live in the wild. Think about that. Frogs, you can find them basically anywhere. You can even find them in Alaska. And this car, which is named after some anime girl I've never even heard of, according to Google or whatever search engine I was using, is better at off-roading than a car named after an animal that can be found basically anywhere on Earth. That's kind of sad. Now, I'm going to prepare for another drag race. One that is totally going to be the most fair drag race ever. See you in a few moments.
Meanwhile,
Here it is. Here it is, the start of the world's most fair drag race. Of course, we're doing our 3,000 horsepower hypercar versus our 103 horsepower 1946 sports car, because this is obviously fair. That thing is 4 turbos, this thing has no turbos. That's a 4-liter V12. This thing, 4-liter V8. And there is absolutely no chance we are winning. None at all. In fact, they might already be done with their drag strip, and as we saw earlier, this thing is about 16 seconds to a quarter mile. Yeah, we lost. They had a trap speed of 224 miles per hour. We didn't even go 88. We couldn't even go into the future. So this thing fails as a DeLorean, too. Okay, we of course failed. Don't worry. And yeah, those earlier times, they're like 7.6 something. That was with the same turbine thrasher. It's just that was operated by an AI, so it was probably slower. And now, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm sad. I'm going home. But you know what? I'm going to go to a very specific place. I'm going to head to the Redwood Forest, specifically to claim one of these cabins as my own, because I am such a salty loser that I am going to become a squatter. Specifically, I'm going to claim someone's BeamNG Drive cabin, specifically for me, because I lost a drag race. Actually, I lost 2 of them, but I don't care. I'm claiming this for my own, because why not? And you know what? I'm going to speed up this parking thing because I suck at parking. Now we are finally here, resting at our abode. Now, I think it's almost time to get out of our car, making sure there's no babies in the back seat. We don't want to leave anyone in there. Of course we don't. And well, let's just walk up the driveway, get one last view of our magnificent machine, along with our new log cabin that we claimed. Because why not? I'm a salty loser. Anyway, that's all. Bye!